Hello guys, welcome back to the ObaNutrition channel. Today in this episode, I will be sharing about the 10 hacks about fasting. I've been teaching about fasting in this channel and I've talked about intermittent fasting. I've talked about also ways that the benefits of intermittent fasting, which have included improvement of insulin sensitivity, loss of weight, you can also longevity in the terms that you're able to live for a longer lifespan because of improvement in the lifespan of the telomeres. I've also talked about the aspect at which it helps in the detoxification through the process of autophagy. So I've shared a lot about the benefits of intermittent fasting, which is the best intermittent fasting model. I think you can check some videos on that. We have compared the 3 MAD, the 2 MAD, and the OMAD. I've also talked about intermittent fasting itself, what is it, and how you can begin it. So I've shared a lot about intermittent fasting, but which are the hacks that you can employ when you are starting intermittent fasting? When I mean hacks, which are the things that you can do to make it easier for you to be able to do it for a long time? It's not something that you're supposed to do short term, something that's supposed to do for years. Because when you're starting intermittent fasting, you're trying to do it as a lifestyle, something that you're supposed to do every day. So the first hack that you're supposed to do with intermittent fasting is eat salt. Eat salt. That's very important. So many people start intermittent fasting, but they think that salt is not good for them, so they do not take it. But this is what you're supposed to understand. Whenever you are fasting, there's something we call the RDA, the recommended dietary allowance that you're supposed to take for salt. So whenever you're fasting, you're not going to be able to meet the recommended dietary allowance for salt. And salt is not like what you might call like carbohydrates. Salt is something that is essential for your heart. Your heart needs salt to be able to pump. When you're having low salt in your body, you can have high blood pressure or even low blood pressure. It can be either way. So whenever there's a salt deficiency, it's not good for your own heart. It's also not good for your own bones because the body will be forced to be able to draw this mineral out of your bones. It means that you can end up with osteoporosis or weak bones. So the most important thing is to take salt whenever you're starting intermittent fasting. And this is advisable to keep this constantly at least for the first 2 weeks. For the first 2 weeks, whenever you wake up in the morning, drink some salted water or you can lick this salt. If you fail to do this you might have some symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, lethargy. This is because the threshold of salt that your body needed when you are eating always. The more you eat, the more salt is demanded by your own body. But whenever you start intermittent fasting, there's not that correction of the salt requirement has not been immediate. So you need to still be taking some before the body corrects the amount of salt it needs. So eat salt whenever you're starting. The second most important thing when you're starting intermittent fasting, hydrate. Drink water. You need to drink water whenever you're starting intermittent fasting. Reason being, when this water itself helps in hydrating your own kidneys. The reason why you're not supposed to do dry fast is because it overtaxes your kidneys. There's a lot, you can end up with a kidney injury. That's why dry fast is not encouraged past 24 hours. They're always put below 24 hours. Dry fasts are not good for your kidneys. And even if you are to go for what you might call a surgery operation, where you are told to not drink anything orally, there's something we do call IV hydration, where you are getting hydration through the IV fluids. It could be normal saline or ringas lactate. So such fluids are always used even during surgery. So hydration is the most important thing, especially if you're planning to do fasting that is past 24 hours. The third most important thing is to keep it simple. Start simple. I would recommend you to start with ensuring that you're not fasting during the times when you're having family gatherings. For example, you're fasting during supper. During supper, it's most likely to be a family time, or during lunch whenever you're interacting with your colleagues. Before you get to that mental aspect where you can tell your colleagues, "I'm not going to have lunch," it's better to just start with a simple step. Skip breakfast, because during breakfast you're not going to be having any social function taking at that place. It's early in the morning, so skipping breakfast is one way to better start it. And that's why I was saying in one video that doing a 2 MAD is where you have only 2 meals a day. it's a very better for you to start there, because you're going to have your lunch and your supper, and your social functions will not be interfered with at all. When your mental capability has graduated to where you can handle it, you can just be doing an OMAD where you're just having the last meal of the day where you still have your own family. So that's the most important thing. Keep it simple, do it as a lifestyle. That way it will be so easy for you. The other most important thing to do while you are to note while you are doing intermittent fasting is that you have to keep yourself busy. When you have an idle mind, you cannot fast very efficiently. Actually, those people who are fasting, they always complain, they always say they have more energy levels, increased energy levels. And this is because they're getting into a state we call ketosis. Ketosis is where you are now burning fats for energy. What you don't know is that fats give us more energy than carbohydrates. Carbohydrates only give us 4 kilocalories per a gram, while fats, they give us 9 kilocalories per a gram. So they are burning fats for energy, and that's why they're having increased energy levels. So whenever these people are fasting, and this will take you around a week for you to get into that state. So you have to do it at least for a week for you to get into that state. So you'll have these increased energy levels. So it's also important to keep yourself busy. And I don't mind will make you not be able to focus on fasting, and so you'll what you might say, you might relapse and start eating. The other most important thing, and this is especially if you're having hunger cravings, if you're going to have a hunger cravings whenever you're fasting, one important thing you can do is drink water. You can also take some black tea, take some coffee, take some green tea, take some water with vinegar. You can also take some salted water. This will help you to ward off the hunger cravings. What you should understand is that it takes 24 hours for your body to experience the actual hunger, the true hunger. Before 24 hours, your body is just having hormonal shifts. You might say that it's just hormonal imbalances. But the true hunger actually takes your body 24 hours for it to set in, and it's also a way about to handle it when it gets to that point. So below 24 hours, it's not true hunger. It's actually just hormonal imbalances where you have the hunger hormones being produced at that particular time because of your circadian rhythm. When you're used to waking up at a particular time, your body will always produce the serotonin hormone at that particular time to wake you up. So even when you're used to always eat at 4 p.m., you're used to having a certain meal at 4 p.m., your hunger hormones will be produced at that time because that's something that you have added to your body to have. So that's why I'm telling you, below 24 hours, it's not true hunger. It's just what you might call it fake hunger, which is brought out about by hormones. The other important thing you're supposed to do while you're doing intermittent fasting is to ensure that you're not telling anyone. The more you tell people, the more you're likely to not keep up doing it. Why? Because most people will discourage you. Most people will tell you that you're starving yourself and that your body needs energy. You'll faint, you'll have dizziness, you'll collapse. Such types of negativity, which will not help you if you're having a certain goal. So it's better to just keep it within yourself. And if you want to share it to someone, share it with a friend who is actually doing it, or share it to someone who can be an accountability partner. The last and one of the important things that you are also supposed to note while you are doing intermittent fasting is to actually do it every now and then. Not one day where you are doing it and then you are stopping it, or you are doing it and then you are saying, let's say you set your target to 18 hours and then you reach 12 hours and you're like, no, that's enough. That's enough for me for today. No, do it up to the end and always keep doing it. Why is it important? You want to condition your mind that this thing is possible. This thing is not hard. This thing can be done by anyone. Once you give up halfway, you are conditioning your mind that this thing is not possible. You have to get your mind to get adapted to doing it up to the end. And that's why it's important when you're choosing the model that you want to do it simple as a lifestyle, because you not start a method that will drain you along the way. So do it up to the end and always keep doing it. That's important. What do I mean by that? Be consistent with it and finish up to the end. If you cannot finish the race up to the end, it will not be as much as beneficial as you went it up to the end. So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you for those who are doing intermittent fasting. And the one that I want you to keep important at the back of your mind: always eat salt whenever you're experiencing headaches, and always hydrate. Drink water. Your kidneys rely much on that water. It doesn't, whenever you're fasting, doesn't mean that you're not supposed to drink water. You're also supposed to be drinking water. If you want to do a dry fast, keep it below 24 hours. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.